Hold up, pause, we don't have time for an intro, I have some explaining to do. What's up gamers? You might remember in the first devlog I said this.
And for that I'm using Gdevelop. If I find it too limited later on though, I might have to learn a different software, but for now it should work.
Yeah, so I've just spent the last month and a bit learning Godot. Don't get me wrong, Gdevelop is really cool, but it had a few features that really annoyed me, and the freedom I get with Godot far outweighs the lack of coding in Gdevelop. So for that reason, I'm out. I first made a rock paper scissors game in Godot as practice, and then started on a pixel art program that I can later use as a base for my game Currents. But because I'm still so new to this program, I did things in a really inefficient way that just meant more work for me later. So I gave up on Godot because it just seemed too hard. And that was that. Until a week later when I decided to give it another go. And this time was much better. I learned how to use tile maps, which is basically what I was trying to code manually the first time. And after struggling to understand them, I finally produced some code that placed a component on the page when you left click. Let me explain. This is a tile map, basically an image that contains a bunch of tiles. You can then use these tiles basically as a paintbrush to paint in a grid. This is handy for things like level design, but in my case I can use code to automatically add tiles that resemble components whenever you click. So that's what I did. It was as simple as setting the coordinates of the tile to the mouse position and then specifying which tile map to use and finally stating which component to place. Once that was done, I started setting up controls to change which component you're placing down. Because Godot identifies each tile using something called an atlas ID, I decided to make a variable for each component and set it to their corresponding ID, so I can just use the name of the component from now on instead. It's pretty confusing, but all you need to know is life is simpler now because I have variables. So now if you press the number 1 key, you'll equip a battery, number 2 equips a conductor, 3 equips an inverter, and 4 equips a mover. I still have a lot of things to add before I can even think about adding the logic, but this is a lot further than I got in the first devlog, so I'm pretty happy with the progress so far. Also, I usually stream me working on this game right here on this channel, so keep an eye out if you want to watch me struggle. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!